My name is David Dunbar, the theme park evangelist. I am a crazy guy. I am wearing a t-shirt and shorts. And it's 44 degrees. That feels worse than that. We're supposed to get snow later this week. It was not expected, in my opinion anyway. I just worked at Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom today. Yeah, here's the actual temperature. Now 34 and your battery is low. And it's not responding. Feels like this is now 34, but feels like what?
It 42, but
feels like 34. Oh, look at the wind, 18 miles per hour. No wonder it feels so cold out. Dang. So that's pretty much what we've been dealing with all day long. These guys are literally going on 2 hours of sleep right now. They were out late celebrating New Year's Eve here at Disney. They were at Hollywood Studios last night. And I was at a movie with a friend until about 10. Then I went and stopped by and saw my friend Joe at Racetrack. Our friend, to be honest. And then I went home, got into my bed. I think I'm going to throw another quilt on my bed tonight. I wasn't sure if I was going to vlog or not because this was so stinking cold out. Anyway, I never got a chance to get over to Stitches Where I Escape today. If it's still open tomorrow, which I'm hoping it will be. And I'm going to dress better tomorrow. I'm going to come back into the park, which, you know, it can't be a pain with that, but it's whatever. And I'm going to vlog my last ride on Stitches Where I Escape, because they're tearing it down. I've heard rumors about them putting in a Wreck-It Ralph attraction in this place. So you're probably wondering why I'm at the Hall of Presidents. The Tim Tracker came here around the same time the attraction reopened, show reopened, and mentioned that Donald Trump has been added to the Hall of Presidents, and I've been really stoked about seeing this guy in here. I've heard a lot of positive and negative feedback about the show now that it's been redone. I've heard they got a new narrator for the show and everything, so I guess we're going to find out and see if it's better than it used to be or not. Anyway, so don't mind these guys. They're just kind of standing around talking. We're waiting until 9 o'clock, and then we're heading on in.
Because when you're little, your dad took you to St. in the Mills. That's why you like the mill.
Yeah, I know, right? Just a few more minutes until the show starts. We were just talking about where we like to sit in a movie theater. Ooh, the color's changed.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us for this reverent celebration of America's leaders, past and present. And now, the Walt Disney World Resort is proud to present the Hall of Presidents.
This program is dedicated to the memory of Walt Disney. In 1971, his love for America inspired the creation of the Hall of Presidents, a place to celebrate the optimism and goodwill he saw at the heart of the American story. Walt's vision was to honor the nation by honoring the American presidency.
It is 1783, and the smoke is clearing in the wake of the Revolutionary War. Over the course of 8 grinding years, General George Washington has led a force of shopkeepers, farmers, and Native American allies to victory over the greatest military power in the world. A new nation has been born, independent and free. The founders must form a national government. In 1787, through months of passionate debate, they create a written constitution. For the country's highest office, they imagine something new in the history of the world. A leader not born to power like a king or queen. A leader who has not seized power through conquest. A leader not separate from the people, but elected by the people. integrity has made him a great one. Washington knows that many generals who have led successful revolutions make themselves dictators or kings. Instead, he steps down from power and retires to his home, Mount Vernon. The world takes note, and George Washington becomes the symbol of American ideals. In the first presidential election, it's Washington by a landslide. The only doubt seems to be his own. He writes, "Integrity and firmness is all I can promise. Integrity and firmness is exactly what we need." Everything he does as president will set a model for his successors. His final act may be the most important of all. After 2 terms, with no term limit in the Constitution and amid overwhelming support to stay in office, he steps down once again. And civil war. 11 states secede from the Union.
Jonathan needs to see this now.
Defining passage in the
Now Jonathan
American
needs to see
story.
this.
The president's
seeing more
own
than
inner
him.
strength and depth of character
You are, anyway.
changed the course of history. Lincoln had come up the hard way on the American frontier, desperately poor, with less than a year of formal schooling. His early years were scarred by tragedy, the death of his mother, his sister, his first love. He struggles with depression, but never loses his determination to rise above it. He once said he's driven by a desire to leave the world a little better place for having lived in it. The war rages. Lincoln fights to preserve the Union and end slavery. Neither is a sure thing. At Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, 6 months after one of the bloodiest battles of the war, the president dedicates a cemetery to the thousands of soldiers who died there, in words we can never forget.
"47 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives, that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note, nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work, which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced.
That's Disney Springs.
It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us,
Comment on that.
that from these honored dead, we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion.
How should I roll?
That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and the government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
Would I be able to tag her name in it?
The blood of over 500,000 Americans is spilled in the Civil War.
Developed for the benefit of all mankind? Or will it become another focus for the arms race? The choice is urgent, and it is ours to make.
Ask not
But
what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
JFK is the one who got assassinated.
But really, it's all of us who must overcome the crippling legacy of bigotry and injustice. And we shall overcome.
One of the agreements that President Sadat and Prime Minister Begin are signing tonight is entitled A Framework for Peace in the Middle East.
Mr.
Gorbachev,
Ronald Reagan.
down this wall.
the best president we ever had.
lost
Or one of them.
much,
No, Reagan is the best.
not America.
Better than Trump.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, George W. Bush. Or George Bush.
George W. Bush.
Loving this country requires a willingness to speak out for what is right.
Okay.
To shake up the status quo. That's America.
Our presidency is no longer just an idea. It is an idea of history.
Yo, to Donald Trump.
Go Trump!
Donald Trump!
The presidents of the United States of America.
There is 45 presidents too. Obama in the back.
George Washington.
Donald Trump is right in the front, in the
John
middle.
Adams.
That's what I like.
Right where he belongs.
Thomas Jefferson. James Madison. James Monroe. John Quincy Adams. Andrew Jackson. Martin Van Buren. William Henry Harrison. John Tyler. James K. Polk. Zachary Taylor. Millard Fillmore.
Any more presidents? Didn't you
Franklin
need to
Pierce.
say bigger?
James
Right.
Buchanan.
Pretty much.
Abraham Lincoln. Andrew Johnson. Gerald R. Ford. Jimmy Carter. Ronald Reagan. George Bush. Bill Clinton. George W. Bush. Barack Obama. And now we come to the present. Once again, we place our trust in the idea of a president, as we have from the beginning.
My fellow citizens, no event could have filled me with greater anxieties than that notification on the 14th day of April 1789 that you had selected me to lead our nation.
Our nation.
But it was with the confidence of my fellow citizens that I took an oath. 35 simple words that have been repeated by every American president throughout history.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. So help me God. From the beginning, America has been a nation defined by its people. At our founding, it was the American people who rose up to defend our freedoms and win our independence. It is why our founders began our great Constitution with three very simple words: we the people. Since that moment, each generation of Americans has taken its place in the defense of our freedom, our flag, and our nation under God. These are the achievements of the American spirit. The spirit of a people who fought and died to bring the blessings of liberty to all our people. Above all, to be American is to be an optimist, to believe that we can always do better, and that the best days of our great nation are still ahead of us. It's a privilege to serve as the President of the United States, to stand here among so many great leaders of our past, and to work on behalf of the American people.
The presidency of the United States is a role unique in the world, an office entrusted to each president by us, we the people. Therein lies the genius of that new idea, now over 200 years old. A new idea our presidents have turned into a great American idea again and again.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our presentation. Please be sure to gather all your personal belongings and exit through the doors on your right and only the doors on your right. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening here at the Magic Kingdom.
So I also forgot to mention that today is January the 1st, 2018. Happy New Year, everyone! Yep, they were here last night for the end of 2017, and now we're here for the beginning of 2018. What a better way to start 2018 than to be here at Disney, at the Magic Kingdom specifically. Anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next vlog. If you're here in Central Florida, please stay warm for me. If I'm trembling, it's because I'm trembling in excitement because I got to see Donald Trump on the stage. Finally. Anyway, peace out, everyone. Have a great night. And always remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you.